What's up guys, my name's Flip, welcome back to another Warzone video. Today we have a huge one, 20 tips that actually help you guys get a lot better at this game and hopefully get more wins. Now before we get into this video guys, make sure you drop a like if you enjoy the video at any point or find it useful. Also, if you are new around here, make sure to subscribe as we're on the road to 100 subs and it keeps you updated with all the Modern Warfare Warzone tips, tricks and gameplay. Now the first thing I want to talk about is stashing your money. This could be something very important if you know for definite you're going to die. You need to find somewhere that the enemies won't find it, so that when you respawn in from the gulag, you can head straight for it, and spend it on reviving your squad or buying some essentials, such as UAV or gas mask. Starting on tip number 2, if your entire squad is in the gulag together, you can actually drop your cash whilst waiting to fight. Therefore, if someone else has a better chance of winning the gulag, drop them the cash and then you can buy straight back if you don't win. Now, on to number 3. As many of you already know, the .375 pistols did get nerfed recently, but are still massively overpowered. Therefore, instead of using overkill as a perk so you can have 2 first class weapons, take Ghost instead. This will hide you from the radar, so when enemies call in UAVs they won't be able to see you whatsoever. Trust me, once you have the pistols as your secondary, the best thing to do is throw on Ghost. Which brings us on to tip number 5. Now that you have Ghost on, make sure you always have a monolithic suppressor. This is something that's super important, because not only does it silence your weapon, it all gives you that extra damage range that a normal suppressor would not. Down to number 6. If there's an entire team camping in a building, then you really have no other options but to rush them. Your best bet would be to spam explosives from the outside. You could use RPGs, C4s, or even grenades and stuff like that. This will make you take out the entire team, or at least weaken them, so that when you do rush, they won't have as full health as they did before. You really want to start doing this, because there are a lot of people in this game who love camping buildings. Now, with that being said, it brings us on to number 7. You want to have at least one person on your team with a heartbeat sensor. I repeat, there should be a dedicated person on every team with a heartbeat sensor. This does not mean that you should all use the heartbeat sensor, because people in your squad should also be using items such as concussions or stuns. This way, if someone is the dedicated heartbeat person, you know where to start spamming the explosives. Now, on to number 8. You want to start using guns that have clear iron sights that don't restrict your view. Now I'm talking about guns such as the MP5, Grau 5.56, M4A1, M13 or even the Kilo. This way you don't have to waste an attachment on a sight or lose any ADS by putting the sight on the gun, therefore freeing up a spot for other important attachments that will help you kill people at further ranges and stuff like that. Next thing you want to be doing is setting your audio to boost low if you have a headset, because it will help you hear footsteps much easier. Although I do have to say that there are a few problems with footstep audio in this game, so don't be downhearted if you don't hear people's footsteps 100% of the time. Next up, we're going to be talking about breaking windows if you're camping in a building. It immediately lets any enemy nearby know that you're in there. Also, anyone with a thermal sight will not be able to see you through a window unless it's been broken. The window ends up acting like a wall and doesn't let anyone with thermal see you behind it. Just another thing to keep in mind. Another thing that's super important is self-revive. When using self-revive and you know a teammate is able to pick you up, you should only self-revive yourself to 80% of the way, and then get your teammate to get you up for the rest. This way, you keep your self-revive and don't have to buy another, and also your squad member doesn't have to waste his time picking you up. Speaking of self-revive, make sure to finish off every person who you down, because they could also do the trick I just mentioned before, and it could come back to bite you. By finishing them off, you also get access to cash and ammo, so if you need to, you can run off to the shop and buy anything you need. This obviously won't work when the opponent's teammates are nearby, and you need to focus on them, because it's not as important as wiping the squad. Another thing in the settings is making sure you're using a square minimap like I am in the gameplay on the screen. It shows 27% more compared to the circle. Using the compass setting as well will also be easier for you to know where nearby enemies are, because you're not trying to figure out which direction they're in. Moving on to number 14. Never buy a loadout drop in the first circle. Save your money as one drops anyway, so you'd just be wasting your money and time. Now, if you've come back from the gulag and find a loadout drop, but you don't have any ammo, and you're rocking an SMG with a pistol, then you need to make sure that pistol is fully loaded. Because you know, SMGs and pistols have the same ammo, therefore meaning that the SMG will also have max ammo. Let's move on to tip number 16. In order to get fully geared, you need to be landing on high money locations to be able to buy UAVs and loadout drops. The best spots for this are Superstore or any banks around the map. You usually get the most money in these areas. You also want to make sure that you have high ground. It's super important to be able to see enemies and they cannot see you. It gives you the greater advantage over them and higher chances of being able to kill them, especially in the end game where the high ground could be the difference in you winning or losing the game. Now let's talk about vehicles. You can actually place trophy systems and C4s on your vehicle. Trophy systems will stop rockets and missiles from making your car explode, and the C4 is used for when you get out of the car, go to loot a building, but in that time an enemy drives off with it. You can blow up the car and the enemy inside. Be sure to put them on top of the car though, so it's harder for the enemies to shoot them and make you explode. Moving on to number 18 and the circle. Make sure you're hugging the edge of the circle instead of being dead in the centre. This way it eliminates the amount of directions you can get shot from and you don't have to worry about being shot in the back. Number 19. If you're playing squads and trios, someone on your team needs to be running hardliner so that you can get anything from the buy station for 75% of its normal price. This can come in handy when you're trying to scrape together cash for a loadout or UAVs, stuff like that. Finally, number 20. 3 UAVs together gives you an advanced UAV, meaning it shows everyone on the map even if they're running Ghost, revealing everyone left in the game. This is great for the last few zones when no one is coming up on the map. It also shows the direction they're facing and turns them into a red arrow. That's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you like it, my 20 tips for Warzone. Some of you may have known some of these tips, if not all of them from this video. Let me know in the comments down below. Also comment any tips you think I've missed. Just another reminder, if you're not currently subscribed to the channel, make sure you do to keep up to date with the Modern Warfare tips, tricks and future updates. Like the video if you have at any point, and that's all until the next one. I've been Flip, peace.